Yo,
Yo, what up, what up, what up, man? Back at it again for another episode of CC Smack.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Episode 235.
I got my boy Josh on. It's your boy Toby as well.
Yes, sir. We're back for another episode of CC Smack. As always, we thank the faithful listeners for tuning back in. Any new listeners, we thank you for giving the podcast a listen, giving us a shot. And we hope that you stick with us from this episode going forward.
Yeah, and I got to get to an urgent matter. So I just want to go ahead and thank God for allowing us to be back here. But I got a bone to pick for you, my guy. So we're recording at nighttime, right? We're getting the
Right.
episode in, holding ourselves accountable. CC Smack back
Facts.
at it. And your boy Josh was like, yo, I gotta take a nap, yo. I was like,
Facts.
all right. So he took a 30-minute nap. After the 30-minute nap, first of all, he was late, right? So like I said, I want to take you to the court of public opinion here. So
Right.
he logged on to the recording because we're virtual, and he didn't say, yo, what's good? He didn't say nothing. He just started singing, make me water, make me hot. I say, yo. I mean, I'm accepting of everybody. You feel me? But I need you to explain the mindset behind that intro, which I believe was very zesty. But just explain the mindset behind that greeting.
Well, you just said you're very accepting of everyone. So regardless if it was zesty, spicy, whatever you
Okay,
think it
Dwight
is,
Howard.
if you're very accepting of everyone, then I mean it really shouldn't be no bone to pick.
You sound like
But
Dwight Howard, my boy.
I feel like, I woke up, I had peace, and hey, that song was in my head for whatever reason. Maybe it was sung to me, who knows. But ain't no Dwight Howard over here, my boy. It's just a lot of peace and love. You feel me?
No, man, I just had to straighten that out, man. But yo, look, man, I want to make sure that anybody who's new to the podcast, anybody who is just getting back to the podcast, they understand what to expect from us. There's nobody that can break down financial news like the CC Smack podcast. We've been doing this for quite some time, so just make sure you understand what you're coming here for. We break things down in a way that is easy for anybody to follow. You will hear some jokes, but ultimately, we gonna talk about finance. We're gonna talk about business. We're gonna talk about things that can help your life. So I just wanted to make sure everybody knew what they were tuning into. And we always like to give a recap of how we've been since the last episode. And I have to go first. I can go first since you just waking up. Just hey, jog your memory a little bit, yo, because I know your mind is on some other stuff, yo. Make me hide, whatever, yo. But yo, I've been living, man. I went to Phoenix, Arizona with my boys this past weekend. We went to see the Ravens play. Ravens played the
Okay.
Cardinals, and we got the dub, so that was fun. But bro, it's so much that went on that trip, man. Shout out to my boys, Lamont as well as Mike. If you wasn't there, feel sorry for you because you know how you start the group planning for trips, and then slowly but surely people start dropping out. We kind of had a little bit of that, so if you hear this, you know who you are. But what I do want to say,
That's tough.
hey,
That's more shots fired than my wake up than my intro.
hey, that's more shots fired than when I was dealing with my situation and you was firing shots.
Hey,
Hey,
yo.
hey,
But
that's a,
no. How was the trip?
oh man, no, the trip was good, man. And what I will say is, we were able to utilize the LLP funds, right? The limited partnership funds. We have a partnership set up, me and my guys, and we just put in $50 a month each of us. So it's 5 total. $250 goes into the pot every month. And I mean, we've been doing this for quite some time, We've been doing this, and now we're in the 5-figure range in terms of what we have as far as investments and savings. So when we have trips like this, because it's 5 of us and we set it up this way, majority rules. So it was only 3 of us going on this trip, but because we had the majority, we were able to fund this trip with some of the LLP funds. And, this is game for anybody out there. Whenever we convene in different cities, whenever we go out to dinners, we do talk some business, so this is something that we could write off on our taxes, so shout out to my guys. For anybody out there who takes frequent trips with their friends, hey, start a partnership, start an LLP. All it takes is just having some type of business idea. The idea that we had, our business is passive. We do a lot of investing. We've invested into Series I bonds. It's a cryptocurrency, but it was just an opportunity where we could, tap into some already saved up funds for the trip.
So I gotta ask a question. So, like, because 5 of y'all and y'all 3 to the trip, like, going forward, are the 3 of y'all just gonna overrule the other 2 and just keep taking trips and just leave them behind?
Nah, I mean, so everybody, yo, you messy, yo. Why you being messy today, yo? Yo, Mr. Water. Yo.
Hey, no, you set the tone, and you know that I keep some ammo. So you walk right into that one.
Hey, look, we a team here, right? And in our team, we have 5 members. So typically we take trips together, but it just so happens that one of our team members is a Dolphins fan, so he wasn't messing with the Ravens. And then one of our other teammates was supposed to actually come on the trip, so he dropped out.
And he's a huge Ravens fan.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He a huge Ravens fan. Hey, shout out to the Coach Class podcast too, man. But no, he's a huge Ravens fan. And because he dropped out after we had already booked stuff, like we had already booked the Airbnb, we had already booked everything. He was fine with us just going ahead with taking the bread as needed. So Mr. Petty over here is trying to divide the group up. We got this, bro. We got this. We gonna be all right.
Nah, and like Toby said, any first time listeners, people who already listen to us, they know how we get down, man. We just like to pick at each other a little bit. It's all love. But
let me interrupt though. No, even with how we get down, there's still gems in that. We just talked about setting up an LLP, which is something that anybody can do. If you have a large group, you know how many people, like I know groups, Black people that just travel, they just go places, and they're already pulling their funds together. So why not just legitimize it? All it takes is maybe you have like a meeting once a quarter where you guys say, okay, hey, look, we've been saving up. Your business could even be a travel business, right? It's like you have your meetings, then you talk about, okay, what's the next trip? You advertise it. Maybe a couple people come on your trips, and those are your customers. But I mean, there's gems even when we just kicking it,
No, I was gonna say, I think really a gem there is that y'all started off investing, and y'all allowed your investments and your passive income afford these trips versus people who are paying for trips straight off of worked or earned income first and then investing, which is
credit
backwards.
Card balance has been up, or credit cards.
Correct, exactly. So no, that's definitely dope. But the Savages, man, y'all keep doing what y'all doing over there.
Hey man, but let me cook though, because like I said, I've been living a lot of life, and it's like podcasting. How like,
all right, keep cooking.
How like artists, like when they take a hiatus from music, then they come back, they just have so much content because they've been living life. That's how I feel about this podcast, yo. Like it's been a rough year for me. Josh, this. For anybody who's new to the podcast, going through a huge life change, like calling off an engagement, I mean, that took a toll on me. So now that I'm actually back outside, man, there was so much that I saw. So the first thing I'll say is, yo, I should have took the half. Always take the half of the quarter, right? Took some edibles while I was out in Phoenix, Arizona. And I was almost about to fight my boy Lamont. Shout out to my boy Lamont. We was over there yelling at each other.
Hey, Hey, that's funny though. That's how it goes a lot of times. How first time someone do something out of their normal routine, like end up getting into it with one of your boys. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad y'all kept under control.
Oh yeah, we kept it under control. Shout out to my boy Mike. He was trying to play referee. We was all high, but me and Lamont was about to go at each other's neck, and Mike over here just like, yo, just keep the peace, yo. And we like, yo, nigga, shut up, yo. We trying to get violent out here, man. But so we went to Phoenix. Ravens won. Bro, I stepped foot into a club for the first time in like who knows when, bro. And let me tell you, things is a little different,
Nice.
man. Not
What was the
only
name? What was the name of it?
1111 in Scottsdale. 1111 in Scottsdale.
Okay.
So shout out to the club 1111 in Scottsdale. We walked in and it was empty. It was empty, right? But that's because it was a Sunday, and I think it was around like 10 o'clock. The club didn't really get jumping until a little bit later. So, as soon as we saw the club potential start to pick up, bro, the only reason why we thought about getting a table, we just didn't want to start sweating with all the regular niggas. We just wanted to just have a seat. We just here to have a good time. It wasn't even on no like we trying to get some y'all means, because I'm a take a man.
Right. Y'all wasn't quote unquote flexing.
Oh yeah, no, we wasn't flexing, right? So I flagged that. I look at my boy. I look at my boy Mike, and I'm like, yo, if it pick up a little bit, what you trying to do? He like, yo, first time in Phoenix, Arizona. I don't know next time I'm coming back. Like, all right, see how much it is. So I flagged down one of the bottle girls, and she's like, oh, a table $750. And I'm like, do I want to do it? Do we want to split the $750? We like, all right, bet, let's do it. So I go to the club owner. Club owner was there. He had a Maserati parked up front. Like, I mean, he looked like the owner. Go talk to the owner, and he like, look, man, y'all look like y'all corporate, right? So he's like, yo, I'm gonna put you in a nice little section, right? So we like, so I messed up the bag. I'm not gonna lie, I messed up the bag. So he was like, yo, y'all just want a little section just to chill. I was like, yeah. So he tells us we can get a bottle, and it was like a basic bottle. And he's like, yo, it's only gonna be 500. So instead of 750, it was gonna be 500. My dumb ass, mind you, I took another edible this night.
That was about to be my next question.
My dumb ass, I go, yo, stop that, man. Yo, we want the big bottle, yo. We want the big bottle. So we was about to get the section for like 500, but I'm like, nah, yo, we need the big bottle. In my head, I'm like, yo, we can get the big bottle for 750. So he pull out the price list, right? Mind you, I'm big and bad. I'm like, yeah, no, we need the big bottle, nigga. I'm sitting there. He looks and he's like, all right, well, hey, I could do the I think he said like Azul something, boom, boom, boom. He like, yeah, that'd be 950. Bro, when I tell you my voice turned squeak, I was like, you got a mid tier?
Hey, hey, my boy said them investments was hitting hard. That's why he was like, yo,
bro,
hey.
let me tell you, this nigga Mike mad at me because he looking at me like, nigga, what the fuck you do that for, yo? And then it's not player to go back and be like, you know what? I was just joking around. Let me get the 5. So
No, you can't.
We
That
ended
would have been a bad look for Baltimore.
bro.
That would have been a bad look for the city.
Bro, so we ended up with a bottle for like 600, right? So we spent like 600, still below the 750, but it could have been like 5 something, right? So let me tell you how I know that I'm washed. Anybody out there listening, look, I'm 33. I done lived a good life, man. I done lived a good life. The streets can tell my stories. I done smothered up. I done did enough,
Hey, yo.
Let me tell you, bro, I'm washed right now, yo. And you want to know how I know I'm washed? Bro, I walked in the club and, they give us the bottle, right? They bring out the bottle. Bro, I got scared because I'm like, yo, who gonna drink all this, yo? We ain't got no bitches, yo. Like, we sitting in the club, it's me and Mike, and it's like, yo, we just there to cool it, right? We not even trying to be active, like get out there and be like, yo, mom was good. No, we just chilling, and we not trying to drink. Bro, we didn't even finish this bottle, yo. Like, we just sitting in the section, just vibing. with a bottle, and like we ain't had a means to finish the bottle, yo. So yo, I'm washed, you know. Another indicator of how washed I am, bro. The DJ shouted us out. It was like, yo, is Baltimore in the house? So we like, yeah, Baltimore in the house. Tell me why this nigga said, all right, man, yo, we gonna do bottle wars. Baltimore versus Phoenix. Yo, who y'all got? I looked at this nigga, I said,
Hey, he must have seen that. Have you ever seen that viral video? End of the night, he must have thought y'all was gonna do that.
bro, nah, we wasn't on that time, man. We wasn't on that time. But yo, that was my recap of my Phoenix trip. You know, I got back safe and everything. But yeah, I had a good time, man. I had a
Ravens
good time.
won. You know, Ravens
Yes,
won.
Yes, sir. How you been, man? How have you been since the last podcast?
I've been sleepy.
Nah,
Nah. Yeah, I've been cooling it. Like I said, you know, I've been locked in. You know, got G Hope coming up.
okay.
So you know,
gonna act bad out there?
I won't say that. I'd say that I'm going to, you know, congregate and you know, network with my fellow alum. No
Man,
acting bad.
you
I
got
think I watch with you. I watch with you.
no, man. Both of us can't be washed, yo. I've already declared my washedness. You gotta live for me, man.
All right.
Talking about he washed, man. I need to hear these stories. As soon as you come back, I need to hear about all the crazy shit that happened at G-Ho, man. And I think we might be having some technical difficulties. I can't see my boy Josh, or maybe it's because I called him out and he's trying to save face. But we're gonna wait for him to get back on. Yo, Josh, you there?
Back. Yeah, you're gonna get the full rundown when I get back.
All right, man. Hey, and I'm only gonna tell you this once, yo. Whatever dial-up internet you still got, yo, you gotta upgrade that joint, yo, because you lagging, my boy.
Yo.
Yo.
You wildin'.
I heard the sounds in the back, yo. He was dialing up.
Yo, I see how this episode is gonna go, man. I love it.
Hey, bro. And look, we also gotta give a recap of our of the get together we had in Baltimore.
The YouTube avenues, yes.
Hey, shout out to YouTube Avenues. Shout out to Gilly and Wallow. They was there hosting, bro. A lot of gems. A lot of gems.
It was a lot of gems. I'm glad I could bring you along. I wanted to brought anyone else but you. You know, my podcast co-host. We met a lot of other creators.
Met a lot of other creators. I actually saw YG Tech in Phoenix, Arizona. He was down for the game as well. And I saw him at the YouTube Avenues event.
Right. Yeah. So, that was definitely.
What would you say was one takeaway from the event, the YouTube Avenues event?
My one takeaway would be that you're never doing enough. You're never doing enough. I think there are ways that there's so much technology out here, and there are so many platforms that there are always more ways to give yourself exposure, especially if you have a media entity such as us with the podcast. Like, I hadn't heard of YouTube Music before and being able to put your podcast on there. So hearing about that capability is something that now we're looking into ourselves to explore. So I would say never think that you know it all. There's definitely other things out here for you to continue to learn, because the world and technology is forever changing.
Nah, I feel you on that. You know, for me, my takeaway or just the lesson I learned, bro, I feel as though we have to take advantage of the luxury we have of putting ourselves in jail. And I know that sounds crazy, right? But when I was hearing Wallow talk, you know, Wallow was somebody that he had to do like 20 years hard time, right? And in doing that, he was talking about how he had this book of life where he was writing all his plans. You know, he was doing a lot of meditating, he was doing a lot of planning, a lot of reading. And he was forced to go and sit down. In our personal lives, we have the luxury of, sitting ourselves down, right? And because it's a luxury, sometimes we don't take advantage of it, right? Going to jail for me is similar to waking up early, similar to putting in that extra time in the gym so that my body's right, similar to just picking up a book in my spare time. I'm not in jail, so it's not like, okay, I don't have nothing better to do, but it's like we all have that luxury, right? And when you have luxury, sometimes you just relax. And my takeaway was just, if you could put yourself in jail, right? Even not physically, right? But just through your discipline, right? Okay. Because when I think about jail, I think it's people telling you when to eat, it's people telling you when to sleep, it's people telling you when to go out. And it's like, if you had that same mentality, but you are the enforcement, right? So it's not you're not waiting on the warden, right? You're telling yourself, all right, hey, it's time to go to sleep. Hey, it's time to get up. Hey, it's time to pod. Hey, it's time to do. Imagine how better your life can be once those habits start to just become something that you don't even have to think about, and that's where some of the greats come from.
Yeah, like they just it becomes a conscious thing at that point. And yeah, that was definitely a head turn at first, because when you were talking about jail, I was like, I don't think Cuz
Hey, yo,
made for
go ahead,
jail.
yo. Go
But
ahead, yo. Go ahead, Water.
hey, but looking at the way you explained it, definitely it makes a lot of sense. And it's unfortunate sometimes that many people in our communities have to experience jail to instill that discipline in them. But like you said, the type of discipline that's instilled in you when you can have the ability to create your own.
Hey, if you've lost Josh, just know
When you can create your
energy.
own positive habits and create, those good skills on your own without being forced to do such by an external party, I think that that's such a great thing, and that's a great ability that a lot of us have. But I think it's the environments that we're in that just kind of hold us back from being able to, like you said, put ourselves in our own jail and really lock in on, and use the God-given talents that we have to create something great in this world.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, and I want us to take that same mentality with this podcast because, bro, I mean this sincerely. We have some of the most compelling content out there. I've listened to a bunch of podcasts, bro, and I know I'm talking on the podcast, and some of these conversations we have off the podcast is really personal, but I want everybody to know, we have some of the most compelling content out there. Our audience, whenever we talk like we do, whenever we give game like we do, our audience makes sure to let us know. Like I've had people give me feedback and tell me like, what you're saying, I really appreciate that. So hey, let's have that same mentality with this podcast, man. And I feel like if we have that mentality, bro, you give us 9 to 12 months, we be out of here, bro. If we have that
Yeah,
mentality.
because we have the connection, so that's not even. It's more so. We heard it straight from Wallow. He said, "Hey, the visuals is where it's at." So, we have the game plan straight from someone who's doing it at a high level. So, there's no need for us to. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you hear straight from a great, why not follow the tips that are given to you?
Hey, yeah, man. Bro, so let's get into some finance talk, yo. It's a topic that I wanted to address. I wanted to get your opinion on. What do you think is the difference between risk and volatility?
So the difference between risk and volatility, I believe risk is something that you can control. You have more control over. I would say volatility, I think you're more so at the hands of the market. And but I think with risk, you can control it in a sense of you can choose where in the market you want to invest. You can choose how much you want to invest into those sectors. So I think that's the main difference from my point of view. I would say of risk versus volatility. What do you think?
Yeah, when I was thinking about it, I was thinking in terms of investing, but we always try to relate things in terms or in ways that everybody can understand. When I think of volatility, I feel like you could have volatility without taking on additional risk, but you can't take on additional risk without taking on additional volatility. So I'm gonna say that
Mm,
you could have
yeah.
volatility without taking on additional risk, but you can't take on additional risk without taking on additional volatility, right? So volatility is just a change, right? Volatility, things change. Now things could change for the better, right? So if you make $100 today, but then tomorrow you make $200, there's volatility there, right? But that volatility is positive in that instance, right? So let me give an example, right? So, and y'all probably gonna kill me for this. I just thought about this when I was thinking about the differences. If you're in a relationship with your girl and you are practicing sex without protection, you run the risk of getting her pregnant. It just is what it is.
Do
You run.
you higher risk, I guess?
Well, it's a risk regardless. It just is. It's a risk. Now, when I think about like the volatility, right? Every month, your girl might have a cycle that comes in maybe a day later, a couple of days later. It's volatile, right? Now, you might look at that and say, okay, well, every time the cycle is like a day off, it's like, okay, well, hey, that means she's pregnant. But the cycle isn't like, regardless of whether you're practicing sex or whether you are staining, like her cycle is going to be her cycle, you know like it is what it is. Sometimes it's 28 days, sometimes it's 29. Like it just is what it is. So that's how I think about volatility, where it's like there's sometimes where things are going to change, but it doesn't mean that you're actually taking on some additional risk. Now, the risk part, right, is
That
okay,
I just
hey,
want to let you know that was a hell of an analogy.
bro, hey, I'm shooting from the hip out here. Yo.
You you coming off the hip with this? Hey,
Hey, yeah. So that's how I think about risk and volatility. Now, why is this important for investing? You need to understand these principles because, like Josh said, there are ways that you could limit volatility and there are ways that you could limit risk. And you need to know how the two relate to each other. One thing you can pay attention to, there's something called beta, right? Beta can tell you a little bit about the risk. If you're talking like stock market or individual stocks. Another thing that it's not as widely publicized, but it's something that you could find. You could find a benchmark to if you're looking at a stock, you could find a benchmark, something you can compare that to, and then you can look at what the standard deviation is. You can look at what the variance is. So there are tools out there that will help you in managing your risk and managing your volatility, right? And like I said, all volatility is not bad. Now with risk, all risk is not bad, but it's only not bad if you get the proper reward, right? I think sometimes with volatility, you could have a day, like I mentioned, if you make $100 today, you make $200 tomorrow. That's a lot of volatility, but that is all good, because it's volatility that's in the right direction. So that's just a principle, or just a couple of principles that I wanted to shine a light on. If there's anybody out there who's just getting into investing, hey, make sure you reach out if you have any questions. I know my analogy was kind of wild. Much respect to all the couples out there. Hope nobody was offended by my analogy, but we just trying to make sure you understand these concepts, man. They're important.
so from your example, the higher risk would be more unprotected sex, and the reward would be no baby still. no pregnancy.
Nah, the reward is that feel. I mean, that hey, hey, that skin on
Shooting off
skin
the
feel.
hip again.
Hey, I mean, that's the reward there. But like I said, the risk you're running there is, you can get somebody pregnant, and if you don't want the baby, then it's like, all right, now you're in a little conundrum.
Hey, actually, this is actually just an audible. This is the Omaha.
Oh
But
shit.
since we're talking about that,
Oh shit.
I think that so like it's this big debate kind of where like you know Planned Parenthood and how that abortions are the number one killer, right? And do you ever think that like maybe they push abortions more in the black community to limit our population? Like, sorry, I know that's off script, but that just came to my mind.
Yeah, we supposed
Since
to
we're
be
talking about
talking. We
pregnancies,
supposed to be talking about finance, but to to be honest, I mean, if you're trying to limit the population, that has an effect on the population's earnings. So hey, let's get into it.
right?
Let's get into it. I ain't bring this nutty ass topic up. This is Josh, by the way. Do I think who is they? Who is they?
Even who is they?
Yeah, when you
I
say
wouldn't say
they trying
I
to.
wouldn't say necessarily. I wouldn't say necessarily the government, but other. I mean, you can say the government, but just certain political entities that are against a growing black population.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest, man. Lord forgive me, but some of y'all don't need to be having no babies. Some of y'all both ugly, and it's like, y'all need to just chill. But I'm being serious here. I'm being serious here. I do think that bringing a child into this world when like
That's a big thing.
when you have like some really poor economic conditions, that's unfortunate. But I gotta stand on business. I'm pro life. I'm gonna just say that. But do I think that there's a little bit of population control with like pushing Planned Parenthoods in like black neighborhoods? I can see it. I can see it. I can see it.
All right, bet. All right, back to
This
regular
nigga,
scheduled
you
programming.
about to get us canceled, bro. Somebody about to hear this. This how you try to take us to the next level, yo? Wallow did not say do no shit like this, yo. That's not what he said, yo.
Why? Wallow, what did he say about Gilly? He said, people ask me, am I a nutty dude? He say, I think all of us got some nutty in us. So that's all. Just
Hey,
I
yo.
wasn't know it was
Hey,
nutty.
speak for
I mean,
yourself,
that all
yo. I don't got none of that in me. You said, what you got in you?
nuttiness in you, bro.
You got
Yo,
nuttiness in you? Yo.
yo.
Hey, I don't got that in me, yo. That's my boy Josh, Mr. Make Me Water. You got nuttiness in you.
Hey, but look, I do wanna off the whim real quick. Just congratulate your Lakers for coming back the other night
Hey,
against the Clippers.
hey, hey,
I do. I know how. See, I know how to get on your good side. Yeah, I don't want to
hey,
congratulate the
I'm I'm
Lakers
I'm happy
on the
you brought that
comeback.
up. I'm happy you brought that up. And I want to say, yo, the Clippers are that little brother that, like after you have your first child, you learn a lot of lessons. So your second child, you give, it's better nutrition, better care, but you still a little bro, right? Just because you got a little big, that big brother strength. Big bro always gonna whoop your ass. So the Clippers, they had a nice little run. They had beat us for like 11 games straight. But hey, we back to big brother status. And I'm ecstatic because they got James Harden. And you want to know what James Harden said? So James Harden said, he says his role in Philadelphia was like being on a leash. I'm not a system player. I am a system. Yo, you know how happy I am to hear that? This nigga's going to the Clippers talking about I am a system. Hey, yo,
I'm a whole system.
first of all,
Yo,
James Harden is the third best player on that team at
That's
best.
that's exactly what I was gonna say too.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So him saying he is a system, bruh, I'm excited to see how he kills that Clipper system, yo.
yeah, yeah. And traditionally speaking, there is a such thing as having too much talent on one team because there's only one ball to go around, and it's going to be interesting to see how this goes because at least him, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook are ball dominant. Kawhi and PG, out of those four, can play off the ball more. But if you think PG and Kawhi about to pass up shots, eh,
Yeah,
I don't
not
think
not
so.
not not
So
happening. The best case scenarios for the Clippers is they get to the playoffs and unfortunately one of their star players is out hurt, right? Because that tends to be the case with the Clippers. They're always getting hurt. So I would say if that happens and then Harden can, fill in, like yeah, I would say that's the best case scenario for them. But I think with his arrival, yeah, the Clippers are doomed, man.
yeah, and also about your boy Austin Reeves. Tell him don't he was they say he was invited to the cookout, but his pass is revoked. He's trash this season.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean
It's early,
it's
but
early.
he's trash.
It's early. It's early. It's early, man. Give him a chance, bro. Hey, I do want to make sure everybody understands what's going on in the economy. So, on Wednesday, the Federal Reserve, the chair said that they are going to hold rates steady. They're not going to increase for now. All right. So this does not mean that they're going to start decreasing. It does not mean that they're going to keep increasing. It just means for now, rates are going to be held steady. Um, that is something that is, I would say it's a mixed bag as far as like, is it good or is it bad? Because rates are
And it
high.
doesn't mean and it doesn't mean that they won't increase again in the future.
Exactly, exactly. So it's a mixed bag. Rates are still high right now. Your mortgage rates did take a little bit of a breather, but I mean, if you look back 2 years ago, it's still something that is painful for a lot of first-time home buyers looking for houses.
And I also think that you remember it was that time, maybe we're in the end of 2023, maybe like late 21, early 22, when people were like, all right, I'm just gonna wait out. I'm just gonna wait out the home price increases and wait for them to drop. And here we are, a year and a half, 2 years later, and they haven't dropped. And I like to point that out because nothing in the future is guaranteed except your death. So I say that because when you're planning things in from a long-term perspective, I think it's very important to have various options and various strategies that basically you have contingency plans because sometimes things don't go your way, sometimes they do go your way. Sometimes they start off going your way and they turn away from going in your favor. But if you have contingency plans, it's easier to adapt on the go than saying, for example, there were people say, okay, hey, I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna buy.
Hey, it sounds like you waited to buy your internet, yo. You got your internet on sale?
So okay, you said it's on sale.
You got your internet on sale, yo? Hey, your
I
internet,
think it might still be
my boy.
napping. I don't know what's going on, but um, I think that when people are trying to that you want to make sure you have somebody who's saving up for home, but the home prices are that would be increasing. that now you can afford less house for your money. So it comes a time now where people, you have to make a decision. Are you keep renting, or do you settle for less house than you previously wanted?
Hey, I'm a cash app somebody $10 if you can give me the timestamp um of when the audio starts lagging, right? Because I think I'm picking it up on my end, but I want to make sure that it's not just me out here. So hey, if you're listening, if the audio starts to lag, reach out to us on CC Smack Podcast on social media. Tell
We
me
here.
Tell me
We
what the
here.
timestamp is. Tell me what the timestamp is, where it starts to lag, and I'm gonna cash app you $10. Have a nice little lunch or whatever it is. Hey, you gonna match that?
Bro, it's inflation, bro. $10 gets you a side order. That don't even get you an entree.
Are you going to match that?
Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't I match it?
All right, man. I'm just saying, yo, your internet on struggle out here, man. Hey,
Yo,
but bro, I wanted to give people one last gem before we let them go. It's enrollment season right now, unless you are part of like a government entity. Your enrollment season might have already passed. But for most companies, if you work for a company and they have a calendar fiscal year end, so the year ends in December, a lot of them are starting to talk about
right.
enrollments. So there was a law that was passed called the SAFE Act 2, SAFE Act 2.0. Now, what this act allows you to do, now there are other things that this act allows you to do, but one of the most significant things that stood out to me was the fact that, your employer could now choose to do the 401k match with your student loan payments, right? So what do I mean by that? Right now, if you have a 401k and your company matches, you have to put money from your paycheck into the 401k and they will match a certain percentage. But based on this SAFE Act 2.0, which you have to inquire with your employer, like, hey, look, are you taking advantage of this? If they are, when you pay your student loans, your employer can make the match based off of the student loan payments. That means you keep more of your paycheck in your pocket, and you already have to pay your student loans anyway. So it's something that could be really helpful. It can help you keep a few dollars in your pockets each paycheck. And I would encourage you to just ask your HR admin or whoever is in charge at your employer, and maybe even put some pressure on them, because employers can opt into this. This is something that they have the option to do.
Have you had a discussion with your employee yet about this?
So our enrollment period opens up next week. So I'm actually gonna be out of the country, but and honestly, you know what's going on with me on a corporate level. Like, I don't have no allegiance to nobody, so I really don't be trying to start no trouble. So
Got you.
yeah,
Respect.
you know the vibes.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah. But hey, man, that's something that you could always ask your employer. If they do offer that, I mean, that'll be a great way for you to save some money and just plan better, because if you can save that money, maybe you could plan to invest that additional money outside of the 401k.
Yeah, thanks for calling that out, because I think that's something that may just slip past a lot of people, and they're not paying attention. But that definitely could be of great benefit, especially as we come up to the holiday season.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, look, I'm tired, bro. It's late. I mean, I know you tired. You just woke up, you singing crazy stuff. I want to allow you to get back to whatever activities whatever you was doing, whatever you was dreaming. I want to allow you to get back to that. But before we head out, I just want to make sure that people can access us. So if you're trying to reach out to me, you can find me at Long Live TOBE. That's Long Live TOBE on all social media platforms. If you're looking for the podcast as a unit, which you should be. Make sure you're following at CC Smack Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. And also make sure that you subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I mean, you want to make sure that anytime we drop, it comes straight to your phone. Don't wait. Don't search, right? You subscribe to us and everything is just filtered right down to your phone and you can get the latest content from CC Smack. How can they reach out to you, bro?
Facts. And I'm at Josh C Lifestyle, Instagram and Twitter. Like Toby said, you subscribe, we come to your front door. We bring it to you. We deliver.
Hey,
We
yo.
like dominoes. You drop the pen and we bring it to you wherever you at.
Hey, I got a girl, so that's on Josh. He bringing it to you wherever you at, He's standing on business. Hey man, this has been another episode of CC Smack. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you share this with a friend, family, coworker. Just make sure you spread the word, man. And we're gonna holler at you next time. Peace.
Peace.